Hey folks, I'm Marcel. I'm in sunny Anaheim, California, although I'm in the hotel room obviously right now. I'm going to shoot some stuff today to give you a taste of the area and what I'm dealing with going to the NAMM show, which is the National Association of Music Merchants. I used to attend these shows. Matter of fact, I attended shows for 14 years. While I was working in the audio industry. It's a much different thing now to experience it in a different capacity, more as a music artist, but also a YouTuber. And I'm surprisingly enjoying shows that I used to dread doing, right? Today I'm going to talk about NMN Brain. And it's something I've mentioned many times, but only in parts, only in pieces. And I wanted to sort of coalesce all those thoughts about the NMN Brain and share them with you. Just a couple notes for those of you that might not feel like, you want to believe the fact that it's NMN or you think it's something else. First of all, these experiences are real, and you can track my progress through this channel and sort of judge for yourself how cognitively sharp I am, turning 60 this year, and then decide for yourself the second part, which is, well, how do you think it's happening for me? I can just tell you from my personal experience, this started with NMN abruptly, pretty specifically. And then, what happened is I got greedy. Once I started to get some results, I wanted more. And that's when I started to add these other things like more fitness, better sleeping, less drinking, zero sugar, and things indeed did multiply. It was maybe, just recognizing that there's more that I can do was all a part of that NMN brain, right? It could be. To me, it makes a lot of sense. Now, what am I experiencing exactly? And I want to go through some steps, but this is not an all-inclusive list. There are many times when I'll have a thought, or when I'll be driving or even flying here, which was a 14-hour flight, right? Where I'm more patient than I remember or not uncomfortable in the flight. And I always say, NMN brain, So there are a lot of little things like that go on, but I want to cover the main points that I think I definitely have been experiencing and that hopefully some of you can experience as well, or at least be on the lookout for. First thing I used to have was a productivity fatigue, where I'd get my kids ready in the morning, I'd help my wife, sometimes I wouldn't even want to get up. So now I'm always getting up at 6 a.m. to help her. And before I would maybe help her, but I'd go crash for a nap after. I haven't napped at all for a long time. I might lay down for 20 minutes just to give myself some free time, but I don't really sleep. I don't really nap. So that's been a wonderful thing for breaking that productivity fatigue. Also, in the mornings, what I oftentimes did for a long time was just watch Netflix or watch YouTube, and I was never productive to the afternoon. The kids would come home. We wouldn't get anything done until the nighttime, if I had any energy left. Now I'm finding myself very productive from around 8 to 12 or 1 when they come home, depending on the day. And I get so much done in the mornings that I can, without guilt, spend quality time with them in the afternoons. Maybe it's help with homework, maybe definitely feed them lunch, because my wife has her own clinic, her own speech pathology clinic, and she treats her patients till usually a little after the kids get home. So I'm there to receive them and do things with them. So I just find myself more productive with family, more productive with work, even more productive with music, which I'll get back to later, which is all, I attribute it all to this NMN brain and this energy. I got greedy, as I said, and I did more and more, but I did stop NMN multiple times just to test it, just to see, hey, could this really be? Is this really NMN doing all this? And each and every time I would stop, I would start again, and I would crash. It would be a slow crash each day where I'd kind of slow down. Feel the impacts just kind of vanish, which is a shame. I know all of us want to take something one time and maybe do it for a month or two and be done with it. But this is a commitment. This is what I call an NMN lifestyle that I just decided after going through the starting stopping phase just to stick with it, and it's done me well. And a matter of fact, the impacts I've talked about, especially like the first year, they've just gotten better. I didn't know when will I plateau? When is that break-even point, And it just, I do feel, as I've been aging, that I'm not getting older. I feel like I'm getting younger, and it's crazy to me. It really is. Energy. I want to talk about energy and how it relates to NMN brain, because yes, I've had more energy, but it's also your brain deciding how to apply that energy. Not only to work longer, start earlier, get things done on into the evening until I hit the bed. I'm still getting things done. The productivity focus is better. So while I'm getting all of this energy, the focus is better. I'm lasting longer in the sessions. My dreams, this I definitely attribute to NMN Brain. They're more vivid. In other words, there's more brain activity in the night when I'm sleeping, which leads to more dreams. Many people have been experiencing these enhanced dreams, these more vivid dreams, these youthful dreams, which are, you're just sleeping better. You wake up, you get fresh ideas. It's really cool. And again, I attribute it to NMN Brain. I'm also getting these strange things, and other people are reporting this too, what I call memory flashback, where I'm feel the exact feeling I did at 18 or at 12 or at 15. And I haven't felt these things. I haven't been in that, not just having the memory, but being immersed in that memory and feeling the same emotion that I felt decades ago. Just an odd thing, sure. I don't know how this leads to, productivity, but it certainly is telling that my brain's working in a very clear way to recall things and recall moments in time very vividly and even like in an emotional way. It's quite fascinating to me. Many of you know, and I mentioned earlier, that I've been more active with music. And that wasn't like a conscious effort at first. I just started to get song ideas again. Then I had the focus and the productivity focus to finish them. And I'd keep writing. Instead of just getting an idea, singing it into my phone and never going back to it, I've been able to get an idea, start producing it, do the vocals, finish the things, and I found, for whatever reason, I'm making better decisions. I found Justin Gariano, who's in LA. I knew him from my audio time. He specializes in 80s music. So he's working with a huge 80s artist that drops next week, a big name that you all know. And that's kind of a breakthrough gig for him. But he's done a lot of other big artists like The Midnight, and he worked with Britney Spears for a while. He's worked with a lot of artists and a lot of movies and a lot of video game stuff. So working with Justin just made sense for the type of music that I do. And I had the wherewithal and the ability to prepare tracks for him. We're 3 songs in. I've sent him other demos. The process continues. I'm not done, but it is ongoing. And we're actually mastering next week in LA while I'm here in California. I'm going out to LA, gonna finish the mix of A Song Much Better and the B-side, which is pretty much done. We're just gonna go over them again and then work on a few of the new demos that I have together, because he's also a producer, has a lot of great ideas. And my ability to collaborate is so much better. So where I'm going with this is, it's not just how I work with myself, but I'm able to be more productive and responsive to musical collaborators, like a mixer or a co-producer, and then we're going to go to mastering. I met both of these guys yesterday at the NAMM show in Anaheim, and we had our pre-meeting there at the show, and the energy is really good. The guy who's mastering the stuff, and I'm guessing he's about my age, maybe a little younger. His name's Stephen Marsh, very well known, does a lot of movies. And because I also want to work on a documentary, but he does a lot of this 80s stuff for Justin too, and he does vinyl cutting. So I'm going to be making videos of the vinyl, because the first release is only going to be vinyl only. Where I was going with meeting Stefan is, he looked at me and he goes, "Man, you really look ready," which is fascinating to me, because your eyes are open. There's an energy in you. I really like it. I think you're going to do this. I think you're going to get all this done. And I assume this is coming from a guy who knows the difference between someone who's ready to go somewhere and someone who isn't. He's seen it hundreds if not thousands of times in his occupation. So it was self-assuring for me to have this quick meeting with him and hear these positive comments. So I'm very excited about not just the creative aspect, but the productivity aspect. And keep in mind, this is like priority 3. The first one is like you guys and doing this work and sharing the progress with you. And then of course my family, which certainly comes first. And if you're looking at the time of day and when I'm working on things, that's usually how I prioritize things at least when my kids are gone to school. But that's like thing number 2. Who has time and energy for thing number 3 that is this ambitious, that's going to include mixing, mastering, writing, producing, singing, even a little bit of dancing on the music videos, and then the shows, and then the record release parties and the travel? I'm excited that I can do this, that I feel up to the task and not let you guys down and not let my family down in the process of doing it all. I want to talk about plan versus action, right? It's great to have the energy. It's great to get up and do things and have this full day. But the planning part of it is something different. It's where I was going when I said, okay, I'm going to go to LA. All right, I'm going to do this. How do I know I'm not going to crash and burn? How do I know I'm not going to be tired? How do I know I'm not going to be able to live up to the moment? And I have that confidence now, 2.5 years nonstop, other than those short breaks, taking NMN have provided me with the NMN brain enough to have the confidence, to focus, to know that I'm going to have the energy to get there. So that has been very, very cool. So it's enabled me to just plot out this whole thing, plot out my year. I'm not looking at things day by day. I'm not just planning day by day. I'm planning month by month, year by year, and even into the future, into the next few years. And I've told these guys, I've kind of set myself up, right? And I said, listen, we're going to be doing this for a while. This is not a one-off thing. This is a turn for me. And this is going to be a 5-10 year thing at least. And it takes a lot of confidence, and I attribute that, again, to my NMN brain. And knowing that it's going to be there for me, just like it is right now, it's going to be there for me later. I want to talk, lastly, about enjoyment, right? Enjoying the process. Coming to LA. I lived here 14 years in Southern California. I did not like it here. Didn't like the traffic, didn't like the noise pollution, didn't like the hustle bustle rat race. I just didn't enjoy it. Now I come back here and I really am enjoying it already. Now I know I'm just here a couple days so far, but I never remember liking this area so much before. I know a lot of people do, a lot of people don't. For me, it got on my nerves. It got my panic attacks racing. I was just always kind of on edge. And I feel a lot more relaxed here now. So I'm enjoying myself. I'm not just doing all these things, but I feel like I'm getting a greater level of enjoyment than I ever remember. And this, I have to go back decades to actually compare. And even then, I always had some puffy eyes or allergies. Like I've never been this wide-eyed before, never. So this is, in some ways, like starting life completely over. And yeah, I am loving every minute of it. I also have a higher level of patience, and I'll close with that. Like I said, there's a lot of other moments where I go, NMN brain, that must be NMN brain. But certainly the fact that not only do I have this productivity focus for longer periods of time, but I also am able to have patience on a long flight, patience when I'm waiting for someone else to get back to me about something or get something done. Patience with my kids, certainly. That's the toughest challenge at times, but certainly it's been better. I'm able to be more cognitive, be more thoughtful, and understand that they're kids and, they need their time to learn as they go and make their own kind of mistakes. And they're great kids, they're trilingual, they're great tennis players, but they have their bumps in the road along the way. I'm extremely proud of them, and I know for a fact, best of all, really of all of this, is that I'm a better father to them thanks to NMN and thanks to NMN Brain. I hope this inspired or helped some of you guys. It certainly has been a lot of fun for me. I just enjoy, I get animated because I really enjoy this topic. I'm intrigued by it, and I'll talk more about it. Maybe we'll do a part 2 rewrap or update at some point in time. Lots more to come. Thanks for keeping up. Do comment. Let me know if you've had any experiences along these lines and how those have gone for you. Thanks for watching.